Hello children, how are you? I hope all of you are doing well. So today we are going to read a poem written by Nissim Ezekiel, and the title of the poem is Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. Before moving forward, let us see who is Nissim Ezekiel. Yes, Nissim Ezekiel, he is one of India's foremost poets writing in English, who was born on 16th December 1924 in Mumbai. He was educated in Mumbai and in London. Nissim Ezekiel's first poetry collection was Fortune Press, and his famous books are Night of the Scorpion, Hymns in Darkness, etc. Nissim Ezekiel died at the age of 79 in 2004. And this poem, that is Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S., it is taken from his book Collected Poems, which was published during 1952 to 1988. Okay. So let us read Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S., written by Nissim Ezekiel. So before moving forward, let us see what the poem is talking about. Yes, so it is a monologue. The poem is in the form of monologue, that is, a long speech given in order to address somebody. There is only one speaker throughout the poem. Here in this poem, Miss Pushpa's colleague is the speaker. Yes, there is a lot of humorous elements in the poem. The poem is most famous for its humor because Ezekiel's use of Indian English and the character of the speaker who lacks public speaking skills is the main highlight in the poem. The speaker uses colloquial or casual type of speaking which many people in India use when they are speaking English, particularly when English is their second language. Yes, there is also satire and sarcasm in the poem. And the poem is written in a satirical and sarcastic way. The poem is a parody or a satire on Indian English, sarcasm of Indian use of English, how semi-educated people of India are using English. Yes, so usually when we read the poem, we see lots of rhythms, grammatical syntax, yes, poetical devices. In this poem, particularly, there is a lot of grammar mistakes. Yes, it is made with intentionally. Nissim Ezekiel makes grammatical mistakes to satire or to show the irony in the poem. In the poem we can see there is shaky construction of sentences. The speaker uses present continuous tense instead of using simple present tense. And the speaker also makes faulty expressions. He makes literal translations of words and uses vernacular expressions. We can also witness there is an absence of indefinite articles in the poem. And there is a lot of Indianness or Indianization of English in the poem. The title of the poem itself shows us it is completely related to Indianness or Indianization. The use of initials at the end of the name, the whole theme of the poem phrases used, language, context, everything is a comment on Indianization of English as well as Indian psyche with English usage. So this is a brief introduction related to the theme or the background of the poem. So now let us see or let us read the poem Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. written by Nissim Ezekiel. The poem is having a very simple theme, and in the poem there is a person or the speaker who is speaking, a colleague of Miss Pushpa T.S. who is giving a speech at her send-off party. But whatever he says, it results in parody, satire of Indian usage of English. So children, let us read the poem. Shall we? Friends, our dear sister is departing for foreign in 2-3 days, and we are meeting today to wish her bon voyage. The first stanza of the poem. And this poem is written in free verse. There is no rhythmic or rhyming words in the poem. At first, a colleague of Miss Pushpa T.S., he is addressing the gathering. And why are they gathered? Because it is a send-off party for Miss Pushpa T.S. Yes, and her colleague is addressing the gathering. He addresses or he says that Miss Pushpa T.S. is just like a sister to everyone, and now she is departing. Departing is nothing but she is leaving for foreign in 1 or 2 days or 2 or 3 days. And we are meeting today. That is why they have gathered to wish her bon voyage. Bon voyage is nothing but to wish her safe journey, or it is a gathered to give good wishes to her. Children, look at the title of the poem, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. Usually we say birthday party. Yes, the same way the speaker has used or the poet has used goodbye party. It is an inappropriate word to use. Usually we have to use a farewell party. Yes, and look at the name of the person who is leaving for abroad. That is Miss Pushpa T.S. Yes, so there is initials which is added at the end of her name, which is completely related to Indianness. Yes, we Indians tended to use these kind of initials at the end of our names. So even in the poem, in the first stanza, we can see that the word departing is not so appropriate in this context. It is somewhere, missing the standard usage of the words which usually poets use in their writings. And in 2-3 days, these phrases also is not following the appropriateness or the grammatical syntax, because it is a complete translation of the common mundane life conversation. Yes, so it is a direct translation of colloquial conversation. We are meeting today. There is in the poem, throughout the poem we can see that the speaker has used present continuous tense, though it is not suitable in the stanza. Yes, and the word bon voyage. The usage of bon voyage is also a parody or ironical, because the speaker is attempting to show his social superiority by using the word bon voyage. But look at the stanza. The speaker's speech is differing with the way he speaks. Though he is proving that he belongs to a very superior, social superior class, but his usage is faulty. That's why it is differing from his speech. Yes, you are all knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean only external sweetness but internal sweetness. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling even for no reason but simply because she is feeling. The speaker goes on explaining or admiring the qualities of Miss Pushpa TS. And he says, you are all knowing friends. Here also he has used present continuous tense instead of using simple present tense. Yes, a faulty usage construction. What sweetness is in Miss Pushpa? He was supposed to admire or praise her quality. He continues and he further says that I don't mean only external sweetness but internal sweetness. So she is both having beauty, physical beauty, as well as she has a good heart. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling even for no reason, but simply because she is feeling. The speaker is not so fluent or not so prepared in his speech. He is speaking in an informal way. Look at the usage of the word smiling and smiling. We Indians tend to use these kind of words in our sentences, smiling and smiling. Instead of that, the speaker would have used, she smiles most of the time. But he has used smiling and smiling even for no reason. Even this situation, this context itself creates a humor. Yes, if a person is smiling because without any reason, we know what do we call them. Yes, and because she is feeling, she is smiling. Yes, most of the time. Here the purpose of the usage of these words may be to show that she is very pleasant person. She has a face of cheerful countenance. But the usage is somewhat awkward in this context. So further, the speaker continues. Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Her father was renowned advocate in Balsar or Surat. I am not remembering now which place. Further, after describing, praising her qualities, now the speaker talks about her background. That is, Miss Pushpa, she belongs to a very aristocratic or reputed family. And her father was a famous lawyer. Advocate is nothing but lawyer. And her native place may be Balsar or Surat. So the speaker is not sure whether it is Balsar or Surat. I am not remembering now which place. So here he should have used he do not remember which place. Instead of that, he has again used present continuous tense. So that indicates that continual usage of present continuous tense. This shows us that Indians are habitually uses ing to most of the words. Yes, Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Look at the phrases which the speaker has used. Yes, coming from very high family. And her father was renowned advocate. There is an absence of indefinite article. Yes, she belongs to a yes reputed family, or her father was a renowned advocate. So there is also an absence of indefinite articles. This also shows us that how we Indians use language without any grammar. Yes. Surat. Ah, yes. Once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. His wife was cooking nicely. That was long time ago. Coming back to Miss Pushpa, she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. So the speaker is a very unprepared man. He doesn't know how to speak in a public gathering. Yes, he wasn't sure where her native place was. That's why he was confused between Balsa or Surat. Maybe someone from the auditorium or the place of her colleague would have suggested that she belongs to the place Surat. That's why he confirmed, oh yes, she belongs to the place Surat. And now the speaker is not talking about Miss Pushpa tears. Instead, he has started speaking about himself, his past experience. Yes, now he talks about his stay in Surat. Once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. Now he is explaining about himself, his experience. His wife was cooking nicely. He took a diversion from the speech. He just, deviated the topic. He was supposed to speak about Pushpa, about her leaving, about her experience in the office or their accompany, yes. But now there is a digression. He is talking about a person whom he had met a long time ago when he stayed in Surat. Yes, so he completely diverted. That shows that he is unprepared. He lacks public speaking skills. Coming back to Miss Pushpa, she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. These sentences also create some awkwardness in that context because she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. Look at the loose or very broken language which is creating an inappropriate situation or maybe feeling to Pushpa TS. So after talking about his experience in Surat, he again comes back to the present scenario. Yes, and now again he starts speaking about Miss Pushpa TS. He says that she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. So usually when we use this word men, with that we use the collocation woman with men, both men and woman. Yes, these sentences shows us the free and broken language which is used by the speaker. Whenever I asked her to do anything, she was saying, just now only I will do it. That is showing good spirit. I am always appreciating the good spirit. Pushpa, Miss, is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. And today she is going to improve her prospect. And we are wishing her bon voyage. See, the complete poem is in the format of a dialect. That is nothing but kind of speech, a daily life conversation. Look at these sentences. This stanza completely indicates that the speaker is unaware of his grammatical mistakes. Also, he is very, he is flaunting his English language, though he is making lot of mistakes. Whenever I asked her to do anything, she was saying, just now only I will do it. So instead of using I will do it immediately, the speaker is saying that just now only I will do it. She says like that. That is showing good spirit. So the poem is full of grammatical mistakes. That shows good spirit. It should be like this. But the speaker is telling that that is showing good spirit. I am always appreciating the good spirit. Pushpa Miss is never saying no. Even though there are lots of grammar mistakes, the theme of the poem is very simple. That is about Miss Pushpa T.S. How she is, what are her qualities which is very admirable. Yes, she is always willing to do work. She never says no to the work. Yes, she has a very good spirit. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. And today she is going to improve her prospect. So because she is leaving, she is going to abroad. That is nothing but she is adding some more merit to her prospect. Yes, and we are wishing her bon voyage. That's why she is leaving and going to abroad. We are wishing her safe journey. We are giving good wishes to her. Now I ask other speakers to speak and afterwards Miss Pushpa will do summing up. So the last stanza of the poem. So the speaker is done with his speaking and now he is asking others to speak a few lines about Miss Pushpa T.S. And when everybody is done with their wish, after that Miss Pushpa T.S. will sum up, or she will give vote of thanks, or she will express her feelings. Yes, so the whole poem, after we read it, we see there are lots of grammatical mistake, improper language or unsuitable collocations, phrases are used. Yes, and the poem's flow is also somewhere missing. And the speaker first talks about Miss Pushpati, then he diverts the topic from Pushpa to himself. Again, he comes back and he talks about her background, her family, her father. Again, he comes back and talks about Miss Pushpati. Yes, so there is no any organized way of speaking in public. Yes, he is lacking that skill. And through these kind of mistakes, the poet Nissim Ezekiel is satirizing, or he is criticizing Indians' use of English. Indians, psyche, which is always addicted to speaking English. Yes, so this is the poem Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa. Though the poem's theme is very straightforward and simple, and it talks about a genuine topic, for that we have to agree. Yes, the idea behind the poem is very deep and sarcastic. The use of language, the faulty expressions, colloquial use of languages, wrong collocations, phrases, syntax, these all comments on the usage of English by Indian educated people. Okay, so this is the poem is all about.